How are we doing? I'm Paul and I'm not done yet. Last time I talked about motivation, about how motivation didn't change my life on its own, and the decision that I made did. But once I'd made that decision, things happened that I didn't really expect. I thought I knew what was going to happen. I thought I knew what was going to change. I was going to lose the weight. I was going to get healthier. My diabetes was going to improve. HbA1c was going to come down. The blood glucose levels were going to come down. Maybe I'd feel a bit fitter. That was pretty much it really on the list. But I wasn't really prepared for everything else. There were obvious changes. Like I've just said, HbA1c came down. Blood pressure, that improved big time. Those were expected. And whenever you watch or see or talk to anybody that's done a weight loss journey, and I really do hate that phrase, but anytime you talk to anybody that's done that or gone through and tried to make some changes, that's what you hear about. That's what you hear. But there are things people don't really talk about and people very rarely say, and they're a very important part of the story. Nobody really tells you about the small things. Little things that you start noticing that actually mean a lot. Carrying shopping upstairs, going upstairs without having to plan first. How many landings are there? Can I stop halfway? Walk it up without having to stop halfway. Going for a walk without, again, planning it first. Well, how far is it? Can I make it? Those sort of things. Sounds daft, but it's true. We go on a lot of walks and a lot of hikes with friends and some really good friends that we've met along the way, and we'd go on them and I'd be really worried beforehand. I'd be saying, I can see this route that everybody's planning on doing and I ain't sure whether I can make that. I'm not sure whether I'm just going to be the one at the back that's huffing and puffing, getting embarrassed, having people judge me. Now, that's changed. We go on walks, I don't get anxious about it, we enjoy it more, and it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing, it doesn't get thought about. If it's a long walk, if it's a short walk, if it's a hill, part and parcel of it, and that's brilliant. We really enjoy it alone more. Your joints hurt less. Sounds silly, but it's true. Your joints hurt less. Movement, general movement, just gets easier. And those little moments along the way have probably meant more to me than seeing any number change on the scales. They really have. Little things, there's one thing that still catches me out, even now, and sometimes you'll be out somewhere and you're walking around, say a town, you'll catch yourself in a shop window, and for that split second I still expect to see the old me. I suppose my head hasn't always caught up with what my body has done. Sounds strange, but it's true. And clothes is another thing. Emptying your wardrobe. You wouldn't believe it, emptying your wardrobe, throwing away clothes because they are huge. Everybody could do the before and after, holding the shirt. Crazy. I was 4XL in a shirt, and that was a lot of the time tight and looked like it was sprayed on. Now, medium, large, somewhere in between, depending on whether I want a loose fit like this one or if I want a little slightly tighter one. And now you can go and buy clothes now because you like them. Oh, I like that, I'm going to buy that because you like it. You haven't got to go to shops where you know the clothes in those shops will fit you. And that's massive. These are things people don't talk about, but that is massive. There's also things that you didn't know actually affected you or didn't know you were thinking about. For instance, you go out, have a meal, a family meal or whatever. You're in a restaurant, a pub, wherever, in a restaurant, you're ordering food. I used to worry about being the biggest person in the room. And I don't know if this is true for anybody else out there, I actually used to be a little bit conscious about what you ordered from the menu. Because are you being judged by what you're ordering? For instance, if there is a mixed grill or a mega mixed grill, you know damn well which one you're going to order. It's going to be the mega one, but you order it and then you're actually thinking, am I being judged for ordering the big one? And you don't realise how much headspace you're giving things like that because you are. You don't realise how much headspace you're giving that until you no longer give it headspace. If I want a big portion, I'll order one. It doesn't matter. And I'm not going to be judged because I am not the big person sat there ordering the big portion. And you don't realise how big that is. Again, that's another thing that you didn't think was going to change along the way, but it does. Those thoughts are there. You didn't realise they're there. But now you look back and think, yeah, bloody hell, they were there. I thought I was being judged every time I ordered something from a menu. So there were surprises. There definitely have been surprises all the way along. And I think the biggest surprise wasn't physical. It's actually mental. My mind has got quieter. There's less noise, less arguing with myself. I don't react as much. I'm calmer. I'm more thoughtful about things, I suppose. I'm definitely more patient. I still have bad days, still get stressed, just like everybody else. But now I'm nowhere near that person I used to be. And of course, there's the alcohol. As I've touched on before, there was an issue. It was a massive issue. What I didn't expect was to still be alcohol free after all this time. March 2025. To be precise, 15th of March 2025. That day is in my head because that's the day I took my first injection. That's the day I took that decision. Well, not the day I took the decision, but the day I put that decision into place. That was the day after I'd had my last drink. Today is the 12th of July 2026. Should never date a video, but I'm just putting that in for context. So you can work out how many months that is, from March 2025 to July 2026, and I am still alcohol free. I haven't had alcohol since then, and that isn't what I expected. I expected to just cut back for a bit, maybe stop for a bit, let things get in place. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was just trying to get through each day, really. But now it's, you know, something's changed. I don't reach for a drink anymore on them bad days and stress days. It's just not because somebody says, "Oh, you don't want to be doing that." I don't want to. I don't want to. You do start feeling things again. Now, a bit hard to explain, because it is quite surprising. Before, when you're drinking, you're a little bit, I don't know, I suppose you desensitize yourself a bit, you sedate yourself, if that's the word I'm going to use. So when you're not drinking, you don't stop feeling. You actually feel things more deeply. You feel things more, or I think I do anyway. Things from your past. Difficult memories that haunt you. Emotions that you've spent years pushing away. Desensitizing yourself against them by using alcohol to maybe numb it. Before, I'd probably have a drink to deal with those sort of emotions when they come up to the surface. Now, I actually sit with those feelings. And that isn't always easy. I think it's healthier, but it certainly isn't always easy. They're magnified, and I don't think many people talk about that, and I think it definitely is worth touching on that. There's one thing that really does feel strange, and that is people actually ask me for advice now, which is just so difficult for me to comprehend, really. And it really surprises me. Years, I was the one that needed help. I didn't ever imagine I'd be the person someone would say, "What do you think about this?" Oh, I didn't think I'd be the person somebody would come to for like encouragement. Very difficult for me to think about now. Very difficult. And looking back, I thought I was going to be changing my body. Like I said before, my health markers, sorting that out. But what's actually changed is the whole way of living. My body changed, my mind changed. The way I see myself has changed. And I honestly didn't expect any of that. And I'd love to know if you've made any changes in your life. What surprised you the most afterwards? Because when I'm putting these videos together and I'll sit and write down thoughts. It's so surprising when you actually think about those things I've just talked about. Let me know what surprised you the most if you've made any changes. Next time, maybe I think I'll talk about one of those changes in a bit more detail. But until then, don't forget to look after yourself And remember, we're not done yet.